Good evening, my name is Dallas. Today we're going to be talking about. Sorry, let me set this up. Today we're going to be talking about the types of speeches and patterns that are used within speeches. Now, the purpose of this is, I guess, to show how speeches can differ from each other, the intent, the occasion, and the organization. Now, what we have are informative versus persuasive, occasion-based types, and organizational patterns. Now, for our first point, we're going to talk about informative and persuasive speeches. Now, the goal of an informative speech would be to provide knowledge to others that are hearing your speech. It would be to explain clearly, and it wouldn't really put any pressure on the other person to change their beliefs. Now, an example for this would be like a health talk that explains how the immune system in your body fights off infections. Now, the goal of a persuasive speech would be to influence, I guess, the attitude of the audience you're speaking to, or to change their beliefs or their actions. An example would be like a speech on vaccines and why you should go and get vaccinated. Now, for our second point, we're going to be talking about occasion-based speeches. So, I guess for toast, it would be short, personal, and celebratory. An example of that would be like a wedding toast. You toast at a wedding, and you share a quick memory, and it would like end with like best of wishes to your now marriage. Now, eulogy would be solemn and respectful. It would highlight a person's life and their impact. An example of that would be honoring one of your grandparents' kindness. Now, for the next one, I guess would be commencement. It would be inspirational and focused on the future. Now, an example of that would be like if you just graduated and you're giving a speech, and in your speech, you're kind of pushing the idea of or urging others to be resilient and to pursue lifelong learning. Now, another one would be, I guess, after dinner. It would be entertaining, a lighthearted one, I guess. You would throw some humor in there, make the audience laugh and be engaged in a friendly way to your speech. An example for that one, I guess, would be like a charity dinner speech. You would mix like a joke in and showing gratitude for donors. Now, a key point in that would be like occasion speeches, they shape tone, length, and the focus. No, sorry, my thing is falling. Now, for part 3, for organizational patterns. I guess common patterns would be like chronological, spatial, cause and effect, compare and contrast, narrative, problem cause solution, motivated sequence, and comparative advantages. Now, an example of a problem cause solution would be the problem that is arising, I guess, would be like if we're talking about student debt that is on the rise. Now, the cause for student debt would be high tuition and limited grants from schools. Let's say the student owes like $8,000 for a semester, and the school is offering them maybe let's say $3,500. They're left with $4,500 that they need to pay off. Now, a solution to fix this issue, I think, would be to expand the reach of scholarships and to promote financial literacy, so that I guess students know what they're getting themselves into and how to prepare better, rather than just going, oh, okay, I owe $4,500. They can better prepare themselves, or maybe even apply to different college grants, apply for different forms of financial aid from the school, or even if there are interest loans, I would say look for interest-free loans so that it doesn't stack up over time. Now, a key point for organizational patterns would be choosing the right pattern can make your message clearer and can come off as more persuasive to the audience. I would say, in conclusion, speeches can either inform or persuade. it really depends on what your end goal is. If you're there to state facts about something, let's say you're talking about like acidity in a lemon, for example, you're like stating like, oh, it has this much pH level if you put it in lemon water. But if you're doing persuasive, it would be like, here's why lemon water is better for you than orange juice. Or you could say like, if you're saying lemon water tastes better than orange juice, and this is why you should stop drinking orange juice, because I like lemon water more. You would have to adapt to specific occasions, and you would have to follow, I guess, different organizational patterns. I feel like knowing all of these tools when it comes to delivering a speech really helps anyone adapt to the audience and adapt to their purpose with more confidence so that they're able to speak in front of their audience. Okay, thank you.